I wanted to ask you, because I've been poring over your submission requirements and your manuscript wish list and all that stuff. I wanted to ask you, you had said that you're looking specifically for an author's point of view that is distinctive and well-developed, which sounds like voice to me. And I'm always curious, because this ever ephemeral idea of an author's voice. How would you define that? How do you know when you've got an author who is distinctive and well-developed in their point of view?
Yeah, I feel like that's just, it's often such a intuitive response that it's hard to specify exactly what that means. And I think it probably goes back to what I said before about the first 10 pages needing to show kind of a confident authorial hand. I think that sort of, there's a certain level of confidence that comes with being able to write from a distinctive point of view. So those two things are really intertwined. I feel like there's something when the writing style vanishes and the character is what remains on the page for the reader. I think that's where you know that you have a distinctive and well-developed point of view. When the writing doesn't call attention to itself anymore and all that you're noticing is the character.
Okay. Now, how do I do that?
You know, we were discussing this as an agency, and voice is one of those things, like I say, it's so intuitive and kind of enigmatic. I think that it's one of those things that's very hard to teach, but it is definitely something that is possible to learn. And I think probably the way to do that is to read just a ton of books. And kind of get imbued with all sorts of voices from all across the industry, across genres and across age groups. And I think that's where you start to kind of pick up on what makes a strong voice.
Let me follow that up, because this is another hobby horse of mine, is authors who don't read drive me nuts. Why don't you read? Why do you want to write if you're not reading? Who is going to read your books? How many books should an author be reading in a week, in a year? If you could design your perfect author from the ground up that's now going to come and be your client, how much reading would they be doing?
That's an interesting question. So I know that at a conference that I attended recently, there was a 100 picture book challenge that they had done, and the person who successfully completed the challenge could not stop talking about how much it had informed his writing. So I think 100 is a good start. 100 books a year would be great. When I was a reviewer at Booklist, we had a quota, and my quota was, 24 reviews a month. And I felt like that felt intense, but it also felt like it gave me a very wide-angled view of the marketplace in a way that I probably haven't had since. So I think that like somewhere in the 10 to 15 books a month is maybe a manageable goal, but of course it depends on whether you're talking about picture books or novels. Novels, probably you can go fewer and still get a lot of benefit. I think I probably read, I don't know, trying to think how many novels I read this summer. I probably read like 5 books a month, probably. How about you?
On top of your clients' work, on top of
that would be,
and everything that's coming in?
That would be a combination of personal and professional reading that's not client work, yeah.
And as for me, if I'm allowed to count graphic novels, and I feel that I should be allowed to,
absolutely,
I'm anywhere from 20 to 30 a month usually.
That's impressive.
But I have a rule. I don't feel obligated to finish a book past 100 pages. If you haven't got me, I gave you the best, every possible opportunity to get me. And if I keep putting your book down to check my phone, it's just not happening. Let's move on. Next book, life's too short.
Yeah, I have that rule too, although I can't have that rule for client work, but I definitely have that rule for personal reading.
Yeah, I will give a chance, because there are books before that have put me off, and I've just said this is so boring and it's terrible. And sometimes I get to the end and I was right, but I'm so glad that I read it. Or it's a book that's very popular that lots of people are talking about. I'm like, okay, well, just to find out what the heck they're seeing that I'm not seeing. Usually, I feel like I'm with the overall whatever's popular. Like every Avengers movie, I'm there. I get it. I love it too. I'll be there for Star Wars. But then once in a while, there'll be something that just becomes so popular, and I'm just a head scratcher. How did this happen? And then that leads me to wondering about my own self. Oh my gosh, can I write something popular if I don't like popular things?
I think probably you can.